Hi, so I want to challenge you to an exercise in perception and ownership. Now, the reason this is important is because most people, when they're looking to lose weight, get in shape, get healthy, they go about it in the old way, which is they will go to, they get a gym membership, they start working out, they start cutting calories, maybe they start logging food, and none of these things are wrong. They're all pieces, they're all ingredients to the recipe. But the problem is you're doing these things with the same level of thinking, the same level of feeling, the same beliefs, the same stories that are keeping you stuck right here in this moment. They are the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs that have impacted every decision you've made up to this point. And the point you're at right now is a place that you don't love how you look, you don't love how you feel, which is why you're doing the diet, you're going to the gym. And so, as you take those beliefs, those stories, those thoughts, those feelings with you and take new actions, those actions are rooted in limiting beliefs, limiting stories. And so, it's not enough just to do something different. And I've seen it time and time again over the 14 years that I've worked with hundreds of people. Okay. And that is whenever we go about taking new actions with the same limiting beliefs and behaviors, it's only a matter of time until we regress back to the old habits and identity that has kept us stuck. Now, part of the reason this happens is because we can only use discipline and willpower for so long. Now, let me back up and say that you can change long term and make sustainable changes through just actions alone, meaning you can go to the gym, you can work out, you can eat different. And if you do that long enough, you'll get the benefit. You'll start to change how you're feeling, thinking, you'll start creating new stories. The problem is, and this is statistically backed up, is that 96% of people who go to lose weight will fail within the first year or two. Now, again, in my opinion, both personally and professionally, a large reason of that is because we're taking new actions with the same limiting beliefs. And what happens is we don't make enough progress with those limiting beliefs. We don't see enough results to keep us going. So we give up before we can make these long-term changes. So what I've done personally and what I do with my clients is we focus on the stories that drive our behavior. We focus on a perspective that is going to be useful. And I want to talk about this more here in a second. We focus on the thoughts that drive our actions and our choices. And this is where we can make not only quicker progress, but more sustainable progress, long-term progress, long-term results. This is where we change our life. Because as you may know personally, you may have lost weight and still looked in the mirror and saw yourself as the fat person. You may have lost weight, gotten in better shape, still looked at yourself in the mirror and didn't like how you looked. And so I'm just using these examples to illustrate to you that we have to change our thinking, feeling, our stories before we can take the actions. So if we agree on that, and if we understand that, then I want to give you a practice here in perspective, okay? So we need to ask better questions, or even just simple questions, and we just need to be able to have better answers. So let's just take the example. If I ask you right now, why are you overweight? You're going to have a lot of answers. You're going to have a lot of excuses and reasons. All of them are valid, by the way. Well, let's say that you say you don't know what to do. You don't know where to start, and that's valid. But how can we flip that to something that's useful? Because saying I don't know what to do is not useful because we can't do anything with that. So what if we answered instead that, or what if we looked at it, what if we framed it this way? What do you know what to do? Well, you do know to lose weight, you need to manage your food. And so what if the answer was, I just need to eat a little bit less? What if this is where we go from that shift, that perspective shift of I don't know what to do to, well, I could eat a little bit less. And it doesn't have to be a lot. It could literally be a little bit each day, right, that you cut back. Now, what this does is it goes from being a victim to I don't know what to do. Maybe I do know what to do. This is where you go from being the victim and having excuses to being the hero and being proactive. So we need to be proactive, right? We need to have the perspective that I may not have all the answers, but I do have some. And from there, you need to ask yourself, am I doing this on a consistent and regular basis, right? Your work then becomes, now I need to just eat a little bit less each day. Now, I get it. I'm oversimplifying this. The important thing to take away is go from an excuse and a reason that you can't do it to finding the smallest, easiest reason that you can. And this becomes your focus for at least 30 days. Remove all other distractions. Focus on that one thing that you said as an answer that is going to move you in the right direction. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Let's just pick another question, right? So why don't you eat healthy? Maybe it's too expensive. Okay, let's flip that around, right? Because that's not useful. We know we need to eat a certain way. Food being too expensive is not a useful tool going forward. So what is affordable that will help you, right? So every question you have and that you realize you have an excuse or a reason that you're not doing it, flip it around, reframe it, find a perspective that's useful. How can you do it anyway? Okay? The goal here is to remove what's not serving you and create something that can. Now, the second part of this is ownership. We need to take ownership in where we're at and where we're going. Because the truth is, and I don't mean to sound pessimistic, I am the exact opposite of pessimistic in my own life, but nobody is going to save you. Nobody is going to do the work for you. It's not your parents' fault. It's not your friend's fault. It's not your work's fault. It's not the president's fault. It's not the politicians. Because the truth is, you wake up each day and you make decisions that affect your health and affect your life. And though all these other things may be true, there's a lot more that you have control over than either you realize or that you care to admit. And so the only way things change is by taking ownership in the role that you've played in where you're at and the role that you are going to play in where you're going. Because the truth is, you have the ability to change your life. And what's going on around you has very little impact or influence for 99% of people. And so what we're doing now is we're taking the shackles off. We're taking you out of a victim mindset and we're empowering you to be the hero. We're changing your perspective on the excuses and answers you have as to why being healthy, living a great life, being who you want to be, we're removing all of that by changing perspective. And we're empowering you to move forward by taking ownership, by owning your progress, owning your life, owning your results. So the only thing that's left is to commit to it. Surround yourself with people that empower you. Surround yourself with groups that look after you. Surround yourself with ideologies that support the life that you want. And if you want something better, then you have to be willing to let go of what's been holding you back. It all starts here. So take out a pen and paper, start asking questions, start writing answers, start reframing these answers to answers that empower you to get started, to move forward. Pick something to work on, focus on it, remove all distractions for at least 30 days, and then pile something else on. Let things compound over months, years, decades. This is your life. This is the long game. We're in no rush, but you have to be intentional and you have to think bigger and you have to let go and you have to move forward. So give this some time, practice it. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know if this is useful and let me know what your experience is with this.